YouTube. This is Dragonflight Productions presents the first ever episode of Roll the Dice. Hopefully this takes off and everybody likes it and they leave comments. That will encourage me to get it going, get it moving. Here what we do is we take all these different video game characters and turn them into D&D characters. I got the idea while waiting after school, and I came up with a D&D build for Ezio. While I'm playing Assassin's Creed 2, I'm pretty addicted to it right now. So I decided, hey, why not record it, put it on YouTube, save myself before my camera is completely fixed, which it's not. I'm working on it. I want to get a mode of transportation first, because that's kind of important. Then I'll get the camera. The primary things I'm going to focus on when creating Ezio, using 3.5 rules. In case anyone's wondering, I'm not using 4.0. I could eventually make a 4.01 if enough people ask for it, but I'm going to focus primarily on 3.5 with my videos. Now, the thing I'm going to focus on primarily is going to be Ezio's ability to sneak attack and just completely destroy his opponents in a single strike, and his ability to free run. Now, he also has the eagle vision, which in my mind strikes me as merely the perception skills: spot, listen, search. Those would allow him to pick out his opponents long range, be able to figure out where they're going. You might also consider tracking, maybe part of it. The only thing that bothers me about that interpretation is that Desmond uses it to figure out the passcode, which I don't care how good your eyesight is, you're not going to see the residue of fingerprints on a code thing. So it brushes into the the realm of supernatural abilities, which he doesn't really show any others. But if eagle vision is that important to you, just sink a lot of skill points in spot and listen, and you'll pretty much get the same effect. So here we go. The first thing we want to look at, obviously, is the race, which is pretty easy. Ezio's a human. He's not an elf or a dwarf or the Thrycreen bug creature. You know, he's human. Class, obviously, it seems obvious, really, with class. He's obviously a rogue. They're stealthy, they know how to move, and they deal incredible amounts of damage to people who are unaware of their presence. Just like Ezio, his dual daggers only do significant damage to an opponent who is not seeing them. Also, you can do that nifty stab in the back thing when guards are occupied with any weapon, which is pretty nice. But the way to fully implement Ezio and his combat style would be to also cross-class into Swashbuckler from Complete Warrior. This allows him to pull off all the acrobatic fighting techniques that he learned, such as the off-the-wall assassinations and the air assassinations. The Swashbuckler was originally developed to emulate the fighting style of Douglas Fairbanks, which he's a very kinetic individual. He will jump off things, leap up buildings to get at his opponent, which is just like Ezio does. The acrobatic charge allows the character to move over pretty much anything as part of a charge. That will allow you to produce the effect of Ezio jumping across roofs and assassinating some poor bloke who happens to be in his way. Now for skills. Skills are very important to Ezio. It allows him to move as he does. Therefore, when you are making this character, you'll want to make his first class rogue. That will allow you to have access to the rogue's significantly large amount of skills. Now, climb, jump, and tumble are going to be his three main skills. that you're going to want to pump a lot of points into, because those dictate how he's able to move. Sleight of hand is also important, for a reason I will share with you later on. Hide, move silently, obviously. Knowledge local, that's another given. Bluff is also important and allows him to feint in combat. You're going to have a lot of skill points, starting with Rogue, so you'll be able to branch out into Diplomacy, Intimidation, Disable Device, Open Lock, a few of the other Rogue abilities. It also gives you the nice sneak attack. Now for feats. The first one you're going to want to get is Quick Draw. That allows you to draw your weapon and attack in a single action. This is obvious with the way Ezio uses his blades. He doesn't draw it, then stab somebody. He draws and stabs in one fluid motion. Now, that also opens up the next feat that is very, very important to him, which will be the Flick of the Wrist. The Flick of the Wrist allows you to, whenever you draw your weapon, your opponent is flat-footed, which means you get your sneak attack damage. This is exactly how Ezio would use it in combat. He would fling his blade out, cut his opponent, probably kill him in a single strike, and then resheath the blade again. A couple other feats that you might want to keep your eye on are Daring Outlaw, which will combine the Swashbuckler and Rogue levels for the Grace, Sneak Attack, special abilities. You'll also want Free Runner, which will give you some more skill tricks, which I will mention in a moment here. And Brachitation, perhaps, for when you're leaping through trees. You might also convince your DM that leaping across buildings would have the same effect. Now, two-weapon fighting. If you want your Ezio guy to fight really well with two weapons, which is not really required, because usually when he attacks, he's only using one weapon, and very rarely strikes with both, unless it's some sort of stylized assassination thing. But, you know, if you want to go down that tree, it's not going to hurt you at all, so it may limit your free running abilities to some extent because you are putting feats into that as opposed to free runner, but it's completely up to you. It's completely how your version of Ezio is going to do things. Skill tricks are special ways to use skills that were introduced in the book Complete Scoundrel. Now, they basically take your first two skill points, they take your skills and they bump them up to the next level. They allow you to run up walls and all that jazz. For skill tricks, choose any movement runes. This allows you to do all of Ezio's fancy tricks and stunts, while using up some of those extra skill points you can get for your rogue levels. Now for prestige classes. Prestige classes will include Assassin, obviously. The only problem with Assassin is that you're going to have to be in evil alignment. The only problem with this is that Ezio doesn't really strike me as an evil person. He's fighting for the freedom of his people, fighting to, right wrongs and all that stuff, so he doesn't strike me as evil, so you may discount that. Now there's Battle Trickster, which is also a really good one for him because it allows him to use his skill tricks as part of his attack. Invisible Blade is also good. It focuses primarily on the daggers, so his two guitars. That's what the punching daggers are called, that he would wield their guitars. That would increase his ability to use those. If you're really into his free running, however, look into Exemplar, which is primarily a skill-based prestige class that allow him to free run pretty well. Street Fighter is another good one. It would make him a tougher combatant in a straight-up fight. Well, that's it for Ezio. If you feel like I forgot anything, please leave a comment, and I will bring it up. I might make a revised version based on your findings. Also, in the comments, give me ideas for the next one. I can run 3.5, 4.0, and Anima. Those are the systems that I will run for figuring out what characters what. Now, there are limits as to who is going to be part of this. I'm not going to do anything that is not clearly defined. For example, the Dovahkiin character from Elder Scrolls. I can't do him, obviously, because you make him what he is. He could be a spellcaster, he could be a rogue, anything like that. So only things that are clearly defined. They can be people from myths, like for example Perseus or King Arthur, something like that. You could do someone from a movie, someone from a video game, from a book, providing I've read it. Any of those, just put it in the comments. If you like someone else's vote, please hit the thumbs up button, and I will probably see those first, and I will do the next video about them. So happy Thanksgiving. This is probably going to be coming out around Thanksgiving. And comment, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you next time.